Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV. Baba Gbagede Imo TV. I am Sani Tolakomi Ajikeade. First, hear the major headlines for the world news. Buhari's failure to fulfill campaign promises cause of hardship in Nigeria. Oshibanjo tasked state assemblies on speedy ratification of local government autonomy bill. Strengthening FRSC, don't merge it, Obasanjo tells federal government. Judiciary turning Nigeria into a laughing stock. INEC fixes new date for collection of PVCs. Biafra Nations League wants AG to withdraw appeal against release of Nnamdi Kanu. Adeboye decries high cost of diesel, insecurity, corruption, and others. Nigerian police confirm 8 persons dead, 47 houses in farmers, X-Men clashes in Borno. Zamfara police rescue 75-year-old victim after 2 months in bandit captivity. Now on foreign news. Biden, Macron pledged to support Ukraine fight as long as it takes. And lastly, on sports. Qatar 2022, Ghana coach Otto Addo resigns after World Cup exists. Now hear the news in details. Governors of the 36 states of the Federation have said there is hardship in the land because of President Muhammadu Buhari, as likely fails to fulfill his 2019 campaign promises. The Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Climate Abba, has blamed state governors for the nation's poverty index, saying the governors has abandoned 72% of Nigerians' poor citizens in the rural area, only to build airports and flyovers. A day after the minister's comment, President Buhari also accused the governors of stealing from the local government allocations. But reacting to the allegation on Saturday, the Director of Media and Public Affairs of the Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, Abdulrasheed Bello Bakindo, said the federal government should not blame the governors for its failures to lift Nigeria out of poverty, provide security and make life better for the people. Part of the statement reads, it is the federal government that is in campaign message in 2019, promised to take 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. Today, records shows that more than 130 million Naira are living below the globally accepted poverty line of $1 a day. Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo made the call on Friday while delivering the distinguished annual lecture of National Institutes for Policy and Strategy Studies, Koro near Jos. Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo has called on state houses of assembly to speedily ratify the bill seeking total autonomy and devolution of powers to the local government area in the country. The news agency of Nigeria reports that election has added 2 subnational local governors in Africa, rethinking policies, frameworks, and institutions. Oshibanjo, who was represented by Dr. Chris Ngige, the Minister of Labour and Employment, said the local authorities play key roles towards national building, but lamented that the total of government and over time has neglected and undervalued. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has called on the federal government to reinforce the Federal Road Safety Corps as a law enforcement agency to enhance its responsibilities rather than merge it with other agencies. The corps were established in 1988 during the administration of former head of state, General Ibrahim Babangida. The federal government has, however, yet to make public such intentions to make the FRSC. Obasanjo, in a statement by his Special Assistant on Media, Kehinde Akinyemi, on Friday, recalled how he resisted temptation to merge the FRSC with other organizations while in office between 1999 and 2007. The former president, who played host to the Corps delegation led by Deputy Corps Marshal Susan Akenge in his Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, OPL. The Coalition for Truth and Justice, CTJ, has faulted the court order against the Chief of Army Staff, General Yahaya Farouk, and other heads of security agencies in the country. The group cautions the judiciary against turning Nigeria into a laughing stock before the international community by making certain judicial pronouncements against security chiefs. The national president of the group, Barrister Timothy Charles, claimed the judicial pronouncements against security chiefs were a mockery of the judicial system. Charles expressed his reservation against such pronouncements at a press conference in Abuja on Friday, worried that it could lead to chaos in the country and distract security agencies from their duties. Prior to the general election of next year, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has set dates for the collection of permanent voters cards, PVCs. The Commission met on Thursday, 1st December 2022, and deliberated on a number of issues, including the date for collection of permanent voters cards nationwide. Festus Okoye, the National Commissioner for Information and Voter Education in INEC, said in a statement that the Commission held a retreat in Lagos with all the administrative secretaries and resident electoral commissioners from the 36 states of the Federation and Federal Capital Territory from 28 November to 2nd December 2022. At the retreat, the Commissioner finalized the procedure as well as the timetable for the collection of PVCs. The Biafra Nation League, BNL, has called on the Attorney General of Nigeria, Abubakar Malami, to withdraw the appeal against the judgment of the Federal High Court ordering the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of agitation for Biafra sovereignty. They made the call in a statement released on Saturday morning and signed by the deputy leader of BNL, Ebutan Tanko. They warned the federal government against the continuous detention of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is coming week after a militant group suspected to be the BNL-affiliated attack and abducted 3 oil workers in Bakassi Peninsula. They warned that the government should no longer undermine their influence in the Gulf of Guinea, claiming that they have large loyalties in the region. General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, yesterday decried the worsening security and economic challenges in the country, wondering most times if those in authority understand the agony Nigeria are passing through. The cleric said during the end of his 7-day prayers and fasting session with the General Overseer and RCCG family head at the new arena of the church, Simawa, Ogun State, ahead of the annual Holy Ghost Congress. Pastor Adeboye had earlier asked his church members to join him as he prepares to go on national prayer and fasting for the country of Nigeria. The Nigerian Police Force, the Borno State Command, has confirmed the death of 8 persons who died in a clash between farmers and others over alleged land dispute in the Bayo local government area of the state. This was confirmed by the State Commissioner of Police, Abdul Omar, at a meeting with leaders of the Farm Association and Mayeti Allah Cattle Breeder Association on Friday in Maiduguri, the state capital. According to CPS, the violence erupted on November 30th due to the alleged encroachment of farmlands and the murder of farmers by unidentified assailants in the area. Zamfara State Police Command has rescued a 75-year-old man, Alhaji Muhammad Sesi, a native of Enagi village in Edati local government area of Niger State, from kidnappers in Zamfara State. According to a press statement signed and issued to newsmen in Guzau by Zamfara State Police spokesman, SP Mohammed Shehu, says he was rescued from tactical operatives following intelligence report regarding the abduction of the victim. In the course of the briefing, the victim informed the police that he was abducted in early October 2022 by a large number of armed bandits who blocked Bini Gwari, Cardinal Road, and told many into the bush somewhere in Danzada, as is of Zamfara State, the statement said. Now on foreign news. United States President Joe Biden and visiting French leader Emmanuel Macron declared Thursday that they would not let us on support for Ukraine's war against Russia and pledged to hold Moscow responsible for war crimes. The two reaffirmed support for Ukraine defense of its sovereignty and territorial integrity, including the provision of political security, humanitarian and economic assistance to Ukraine for as long as states decide in a statement. They also reiterate their steadfast resolve to hold Russia to account for widely documented atrocities and war crimes. And lastly, on sports. Otto Addo has resigned as Ghana's coach following the Black Stars exit from the ongoing 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. The 47-year-old who took charge of the team in April was leaving after 8 months as head coach of the Black Stars. Addo was first named interim manager before Ghana's World Cup playoff against Nigeria, supervising the team to make a comeback on the global stage. The former Ghana international announced his resignation at a press conference after the match. I said before it was a clear I would stop after the World Cup. At the moment, me and my family see our future in Germany. I like my role as Dortmund, the governor said. And that concludes the world news for this hour. But before we go, here are some of the major headlines once again. Buhari's failures to fulfill campaign promises cause of hardship in Nigeria. Oshibanjo tasked state assemblies on speedy ratification of local government. Strengthening FRSC, don't make it, Obasanjo tells federal government. Judiciary turning Nigeria into laughing stock. INEC fixes new date for collection of PVCs. Biafra Nations League wants AG to withdraw appeal against release of Nnamdi Kanu. To join us on all our social media handles, on Facebook as Gbagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo, follow us there and share the page, and on Instagram as Gbagede Imo_22. Follow us there as well and share the page, and on YouTube as Baba Gbagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on the post notification bell. Thank you. And for the placement of adverts, call the number showing on the screen. Thanks so much for always watching our news on BGI TV. I am Sanut Olakomi Ajike. Bye.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million. Oh, na na na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV.